Hey, welcome back. This is Art of Cycling. I'm Greg Leach, and we're stage 12 of the tour. I did a post earlier saying 11. Oops. But so I think this page is morphing a little bit. Oh, shoot, what did I cover yesterday? But I've covered race doctors and, all sorts of aspects of the tour that many of you may not know about, particularly those of you who are watching for the art and aren't big tour fans. Of course, that, a lot of people watch the Tour de France for the Tour of France as opposed to the bike race. So this is Brian Kokar, and there's a lot of speculation as to what happened, but he had been in the early break. And then all of a sudden he pulled off the side of the road and met with the medics, and was initially, the commentators that I'm listening to were speculating he had a bee sting, but they kept looking at his hand. And then the medics, at his request, taped two of his fingers together. My suspicion, and I'm sure various, at this point I don't know, but I'm going to bet that, because it was right past the feed zone, that he grabbed either a water bottle or a bag, musette, and dislocated his finger. Because they were like, at one point I think he was like trying to get the medic to yank on it. I've done that before. Fell going down the stairs and ended up completely dislocating a knuckle and then having to grab the finger and snap it back into place. So now the peloton has gone by him, and he is so far back that his only escort, well, here's a couple of gendarmes, and I'll speak about them in a second, but his escort is the voiture balai, or if you prefer, the broom wagon. And the broom wagon is, as the name, they sweep up, they follow the last person out on course. So he went from the front of the race with 52 other guys, and now is off the back of the race, so far back that the broom wagon is his primary companion. Sorry, just trying to, oh, there we go. You're never alone in the tour, not only with all the cycling fans, but all the support vehicles as well. So the gendarme here, the police at escort, and they are responsible for keeping the riders safe, both to try to prevent protesters like what happened at the end of the stage yesterday, with somebody getting on course. I think I read that he was intrinsically protesting Israel's occupation of, but basically what he was advocating for, what he was protesting for, in not the best way possible, was to get Israel Prepare Tech out of the race. Like they shouldn't be there. And I don't know if I've talked about um, sports, what they call sports washing, where, and there's two Arabian sponsored teams in the tour. In fact, the guy most expected to win the tour rides for one of them, and it is considered a way to burnish the reputation of countries. And so, in this case, it was protesting um, Israel and Team Israel Premier Tech being in the tour. He had a T-shirt on that. But I digress. So I suspect as we come up on the sprint point that Kokar had hoped to be sprinting for. Oh, I know where I was going. Never mind. I'll get back to that. Since he was in the front, I think he was hoping to be planning on being sprinting for maximum points. And then he probably would have dropped off the pace and just got back to finish the stage as best he could. And by starting from the front, he probably hoped, well, as they go up the hill so much faster than me, at least I'll be starting from a good place. Now, back at the Gendarme. So they ride along the race, and they're responsible for the road closures, making sure nobody gets out on the course. That happened twice in the Dauphiné, where people came from a side street and got out on course, which is far more dangerous than a single protester running along the side of the road, although that is very dangerous as well. I don't mean to belittle the risk that protester created. But so then, of course, after they've closed the road, the course goes by, the race goes by, then they have to speed back through the peloton again and catch back up, get back on the front, and basically do it all again over and over and over and over. Now, it is quite the honor amongst the gendarmerie to escort the tour, and many are the same riders who can't remember the president of France right now. The only name coming to mind is Mitterrand, and I'm embarrassed. I should know that offhand. I apologize. I'm sure one of you all know and will tell me. Oh, that was the other thing. Boy, oh boy. Made a comment about what happened to the protester and the bloodlust that came out on Twitter. I still call it Twitter. Was stunning. And basically, beat the shit out of him. And all I had said was, after they had him over the wall, was it really necessary to punch him repetitively? But, a lot of you out there, not on this platform, but on that platform, seemed to think it was very necessary, and just, we're disappointed it wasn't worse. I'm not going to stray into politics. So, what happens with the broom wagon, or can happen, is, I'm getting my wrong color here, is the wagon basically exists to pick up anybody who can no longer continue. So if Cocar's team car isn't around, and it doesn't look like it is, it looked like they kind of went on to take care of everybody else on the team, probably saying, hey, do the best you can. Here's a water bottle, good luck. And I'm just trying to build a black right now. Good luck, and should you need to pull out, leave the tour, just jump into the broom wagon. If you're a neophyte to bike racing, but love a good animated movie, oh crap, now I'm not going to be able to think of that either. Shoot, The Witches of... Yeah, maybe I'll think of it before the video's over. I want to say Bellevue or Belleville or shoot. But oh God, it's good. And now I want to go watch it. But it takes cycling as its theme, and it sort of humorously covers the broom wagon for one thing. But in that case, the broom wagon is the tool of the villain of the story. In this case, I think they're in... Well, nobody wants to be picked up by the broom wagon. If you've ever done... just realized I didn't title or sign this. Here. The broom wagon. Lurks. So I'm hoping, the problem here for Brian Cocar is that he's a sprinter and not a great climber. And if he's starting the climb this far behind the peloton, now I'm like questioning, is he behind the peloton or is he in between? If he's in between, why is the broom wagon there? So I think he's behind. But if he is this far behind before they even hit the, we have a category 1 climb, followed by category 2, and then we end the stage on what's called the HC, or the Haute Categorie, or in my native tongue, the outside category, which just means, the biggest climbs of the tour. And this is a particularly big one they're coming up on. So he's not going to climb as fast as the climbers and heroes of the peloton. So he runs also the risk of being outside of the time limit. So every day, and it's an elaborate formula, Bob Roll keeps trying to explain it to us. Basically, it's a percentage that it's determined based on the difficulty of the stage. But it's, you have a percentage of the leader's time, winner's time, to get to the finish. And if you don't get in, if you're outside the time limit, you're also out of the tour. It's a bit harsh, but I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere, right? So that's the other thing that Kokar is dealing with, and already being behind is going to make that a bigger issue. So closing in on being finished right now. So I would, of course, encourage you to subscribe. Do you have any questions about what I've been talking about? I would prefer we keep the negative politic remarks to a minimum. I brought it up, so I guess I got to deal with it. And of course, subscribe if you're not already. We're at stage 12, so what is that? 9 more stages of the tour and 8 of the Tour Femme. So 17 more videos to go. So thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate it. Love to know what you think, and I hope the broom wagon doesn't suck you up.